This is marriage wisdom for wives who want a long marriage. There was a time in my marriage where I stopped talking. Not completely, but I stopped explaining how I felt. I stopped bringing certain things up. I stopped trying to be understood. And it wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I got tired. Tired of feeling like I had to defend how I felt just to be heard. Tired of explaining the same thing and feeling like it didn't land the way I needed it to. And after a while, I just got quiet. Now, from the outside, everything probably looked fine. We were still together, still functioning, still going through life, but inside, something had changed. Because when you stop speaking up, you don't stop feeling. You just start holding it in. And over time, that builds. It builds in how you respond. It builds in your tone. It builds in your patience. And eventually, it starts to affect your connection. And I can be honest about this now. There were seasons in our marriage where both of us were carrying things we weren't saying. There was resentment there on both sides. And when resentment is there, communication changes. It's not as open. It's not as safe. It's not as easy. So instead of talking, you adjust. You keep the peace. You let things go. But what you don't realize in that moment is that silence has a cost. Because what isn't said doesn't disappear. It builds. And when it builds long enough, it creates distance. Not because love is gone, but because connection has changed. And that's a hard place to be in a marriage. Because you're still there, but something doesn't feel the same. And for a long time, I didn't fully understand what was happening. I just knew I was quieter, less expressive, less willing to explain. But as I've grown, and as we've grown, I can see it more clearly now. Silence wasn't peace. It was protection. It was me protecting myself from frustration, from feeling like I wasn't being heard the way I needed to be. But the truth is, protection can turn into distance if it stays in place too long. And that's what we had to work through. We had to learn how to create a space where both of us could speak and feel heard. Not perfectly, but intentionally. And that took time. It took growth. It took softening on both sides. Because communication in a long marriage is not just about talking. It's about safety. It's about whether someone feels comfortable enough to express themselves honestly. And when that safety isn't there, silence will always take its place. But when safety begins to grow again, so does communication. And that's something I can say today is different. There is more openness now, more willingness to share, even in small things, even in simple moments. And that matters because connection is built in those moments, not just the big ones, the small ones too. And if there's anything I've learned, it's this. When someone stops talking, it doesn't mean they don't care. Sometimes it means they cared for a long time, and got tired. And recognizing that can change everything. And that is how long marriages are built.